Yeah, tell me why I was at Target the other day looking for a new basketball and some little kid ran past me and just spit on my shoe for no reason. I'm so dead ass. I'm not even joking. He runs past, spits on my shoe, and then looks up at me and runs off. And not a little bit of spit. I'm talking about like a good loogie. I'm looking at my feet like, bro, did this little motherfucker just do a drive-by spit? I was so shocked. I ain't even moved for a second. And I was like, wait. Hold on, nah, get back over here. What the fuck? I couldn't even find him at first, but tell me what, I woke out the store and he's standing around the corner smoking a spliff with like three of his friends. Mind you, I'm talking about like a 12, 13-year-old boy here. What who is raising y'all? Am I tripping? Bro, I was so mad for the rest of the day because I couldn't even do nothing. He was a little ass kid. I sat in the Uber on the way home just mad, bro. I should have took him to the store bathroom and flushed him down the fucking toilet. I don't even know why I'm talking about that, bro. I just had to get that off my chest. It's been pissing me off since last week. I had to rant. Speaking of kids acting up, the last few years have seen numerous young bulls pop out of obscurity and flash out on the big stages across Europe. Everywhere you look, big clubs are popping out with new forms of underage labor. Lamine Yamal, originally 15 when he made his Barca debut, gained recognition at 16, and after a dominant Euro campaign, he's now one of the best right wingers in Europe, and he won't be able to legally drink a beer till 2028. Mainu made his debut last January at 17, but he really broke out for United as an 18-year-old last season, saving them at numerous points throughout the year. Pau Kubarsi made a name for himself, strapping up Victor Osimhen in the Champions League this year, and he's 17. Florian Wirtz is still 20, and he just won Bundesliga Player of the Season while leading Leverkusen to an invincible league year. Shit, Jude Bellingham is a whole Ballon d'Or candidate at 21. All these good young players is great for the game and all, but unfortunately, like always, there is a downside. All the young talent has given some fan bases Starboy fever. You're seeing all these other clubs with superstar young names popping out, and naturally, you want the same for your own club. This leads to multiple different things. For one, overhyping some academy players that maybe aren't as good as they seem. Two, unnecessarily hating on other clubs' young players. And three, trying to rush the development of your club's young talent. For this video, I'm definitely going to be using Arsenal as an example, mainly because the Arsenal fan base was actually the main reason I'm making this video. By now, Ethan Nwaneri is starting to get more attention around England, but he's been Arsenal's best academy prospect for a while now. Most people who aren't Arsenal fans remember him from when he became the youngest player in Prem history at 15 years old a couple seasons ago. At 15 years old, I'm going to keep it a buck. I was in geometry putting up D's and F's. Shit, even now, I'm not doing none of this shit. I'm still frying all y'all on the court, though. I don't give a fuck. Matter of fact, roll the clip. Check up one dribble, spin move, easy leg. Give me that shit, boy. Hezzy crossover, drive to the hoop. That's a simple lay. Jab step, one dribble. Oop, ain't nothing up there. Give me that fadeaway. Easy. Quick mid-range, because, yes, we shoot too. Back on that, though. Crossover, 1-2, easy lay. New angle, same antics. Behind the back, LeBron 2018 game winner against the Raptors. One dribble, no, I did not travel. Easy lay. Last one, tween spin move, fadeaway, chicken, cheddar, biscuits from Brad Lobster. I'm sorry, we got off topic. We was talking about Nwaneri, right? Yeah, we were. In the past 2 seasons, he's never gotten serious minutes at all. He's played like one game each year. Miles Lewis-Skelly is another young Arsenal talent that Arteta's been under intense pressure to play. He's only 17, and he's a midfielder that can also play left back. Very versatile, talented player. I love both of those guys. Very excited about them, especially Nwaneri. He plays like he's older than his age. Very composed, very smart player. MLS too. He's never played a single Prem minute though. If you look at conversations about these players online, you'd see all kinds of insane pressure on Arteta to play Nwaneri, play MLS, play the youth, play the youth, play the youth. And if we're being serious about why all of this pressure exists, it's because of Starboy fever. I remember when Mainu started popping his pussy for United last season, and there was an uproar in some areas of the Arsenal fan base because Nwaneri still was playing in Premier League too. There were even people calling for Arteta to be fired because he didn't give youth players enough minutes. And from a certain angle, I can kind of understand. It is a bit hard to ignore that Arteta doesn't really have a kid that he basically raised himself yet. Klopp had his Trent, Pep had his Foden, feel me? That kind of player. However, there are also other factors that people are ignoring. Everyone's sitting here saying, look at United, they're giving Mainu minutes. But like, United is kind of donkey shit right now. Let's be serious. I mean, look at the situation they were in last season. Casemiro is fat and slow as fuck now. I'm sorry. I did not mean for it to come out like that. But I wasn't trying to sugarcoat it. He's nowhere near the player he used to be. And he's capable of putting up good performances, but he's never going to be consistently great again. Let's not lie to ourselves. More importantly, though, they had an unreal amount of injuries. Their players were dropping like flies. I think when Mainu made his first start, United was missing Casemiro, Christian Eriksen, and Mason Mount. It was literally a walking hospital ward. Yes, Mainu eventually played his way into the regular starting lineup over the months, but that's because United's midfield was a fucking mess anyway. I don't even think United fans would get up here and pretend that shit was remotely functional most of last season. You turn to Barcelona and you got a similar situation. Teenager on a very dysfunctional team. Spent most of the first half of the season on the bench or coming off the bench late in games. Usually he was behind Ferran Torres or Rafinha. Eventually he just bullied his way into the starting lineup permanently, also taking advantage of an injury when Rafinha got hurt for the first couple months of 2024. Yet another situation where the main reason a very young talent was given the keys so early was because he needed to steady a dysfunctional and injury-riddled team. Opportunity for the youth generally comes from struggle. Arsenal have not been struggling. As a matter of fact, they were just in one of the most heated title races in Prem history. In what universe does it make sense to insert a couple 17-year-olds into that kind of pressure? Can we be serious for like 1 second, please? You can point to Klopp playing Bradley and Kwanzaa for a lot of the second half of last season, but that was because Trent and Konate could barely stay on the field. Plus, Kwanzaa's 21 and Bradley was 20. We're comparing them to like actual kids. If it was up to certain people, we would have 16-year-old Nwaneri out there getting pressed by Haaland, Foden, and Bernardo at the Etihad last March. I don't know why people can't see that Arteta is clearly trying to take the Foden route with Nwaneri, and I don't know why he isn't being applauded for it instead of attacked. Foden didn't even get his first Prem minute till he was 17, and he only played 5 games, starting none of them. Over the next 5 years, his league appearances slowly grew as each season passed. 13 in 2018 with 3 starts, 23 in 2019 with 9 starts, 28 in 2020 with 17 starts, 28 in 2021 with all but 4 being starts. By the season before last, he was a regular for City, and last season, he won Prem Player of the Season. Instead of throwing him out there when he didn't need to because Pep literally had a team full of superstars, he slowly integrated him into his super team until he was another perfect piece of the puzzle. Ethan is ahead of the curve. He just turned 17 a few months ago, and he already has a couple appearances under his belt. If you ask some fans why they feel like him and MLS need to be lobbed into the team, there isn't going to be much of a sensible answer besides, well, everyone else is playing their young talent. I don't think many Arsenal fans realize we aren't in an era where we need to be throwing the youth to the wolves before their balls drop anymore. When teenage Saka and couldn't even drink yet ESR and barely legal Martinelli just came onto the scene, that's when there was a need for immediate youth integration. Now Arsenal's at a point where they have the luxury of slowly integrating very young talents into the first team. And instead of seeing it as how far they've come as a club, you got people acting like you gotta have a teenager out there to match with other clubs' young talents. Starboy Fever is pretty much an example of comparison is the thief of joy. These same people will be quick to toss a player to the side the moment he goes out there and shits the bed because he's not ready. Now, it is important to remember that Arteta isn't completely innocent here. I feel like he could have tossed Nwaneri and maybe even MLS some more late game minutes in the big thrashings Arsenal was handing out last season. The only game he did it in was the 6-0 against West Ham, I think. This season, especially after the preseasons that Nwaneri and MLS had, if he doesn't give him some semi-consistent time off the bench or at least some cup games, then we clearly have a serious problem here. For now, I feel like his mishandling of the youth is being highly exaggerated. Lack of patience is definitely the biggest effect of Starboy Fever, and it's not just fans, it definitely trickles over to players too. I feel like a lot of players want to be that exciting young player for a club, and the idea of playing their way to the first team over years just isn't exciting for them. That leads to a lot of players prematurely leaving, and while it works out for some, more often than not, we see these players fizzle out and then come out later saying they regretted their choice. Moral of the story is we could all use a little bit more patience. If we're being honest, we could really blame this on Saka. Obviously, he's nowhere near the first team superstar, but not only did he go out there and normalize teenagers being absurdly consistent week in and week out, he was also the first to be given the name Starboy a few years ago, and it definitely kind of affected the way young talents are viewed a little bit. He was like, 18 years old the season he went out there and had 11 or 12 assists in all competitions while playing most of that season at left back. I definitely say the original modern Starboy was probably Rashford though, even though he wasn't given the name. Would I say he panned out as expected? Not gonna lie, it looked like he would for a while a couple seasons ago, but nah. Basically, all I'm trying to say is stop kid watching other clubs. Not everyone's situation is the same, and what's working for someone else's club might not work the same for yours, and to be honest, it might not have to either.